Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. We're going to give you an extensive update on some coins that have been requested after a beautiful Michigan victory up at the Wisconsin Badgers today. For the first time in 20 years, they've taken down the Wisconsin Badgers at Camp Randall, albeit a horrible team. But Jim Harbaugh had some good, innovative plays today, attacking vertically down the field, which I didn't think he would do. And they kicked the shit out of Wisconsin like they should have. But this is a brief glimpse on going to be posted on my blog at VGCI or blah. Yeah, VGCInews.com. I will have this. This is a little snippet of my next blog. Imagine a time in history so critical it changed the fabric of America forever. September 10th, 2001. A day history has forgotten about. On this day, U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had the dishonor to inform the American sheeple 2.3 trillion tax dollars were gone. Poof. If any of my American audience remembers that back then, this did happen. They had an emergency conference on that night, September 10th. Rumsfeld had zero answers. USCP state-run media asked zero questions of substance after being told of the biggest heist in American history. Somehow the American sheeple, a quiet, gullible, intellectually dead group, had not a clue they got fleece heisted and shysted, right? It's going to be a very good article, or a very good blog. I'll have it posted in the next few days, right? So I would tell you to check that out at VGCInews.com. When it's up there, I already have a few other good articles out there, right? But as we're looking at the coins right here, we got Matic, and we can see Matic if we start from the far out time frame, right? In a super simple, easy way to trade this market on our beautiful screen here that we're recording on this weekend. You can see we got the shithouse way down there, right? The shithouse is way down there. We're not in any danger of going to the shithouse right now, but we are in danger of having a get my shit together advisory box. You can see they're very narrow boxes because this coin, for the most of its short life that it's been around, spent it way down here, less than a penny, right? Well less than a penny. It was just now recently in this pump at the beginning of the year that we got up into the dollar, price range, and it's trying to hold that. But we have these critical boxes up here, right? The green box, the I'm going to get rich zone, if we can pop ahead of that. And then the orange box, which is the last line of defense to the shithouse, aka get my shit together zone, right? So it's orange. And then the shithouse in red down there. And as we zoom in now in a super simple, easy way to trade this market, that's why we always start from the far out time frames and work our way in, right? As I smoke a little hashish and mota. Right? Very good stuff. And no yayo. No yayo. Just a multa and hashish. But you can see we're in a Vincenzo quadrant. Remember when we entered into the western phase? It's volatile, but as you work your way in, it gets less volatile until you get near the null phase. If you run straight through it and rotate through it. But in this case, we took the seldom taken southern route, and we had a pretty big crash. And then we got bought back up real quick, right about a moving average down there, the 50-day moving average. And the weekly time frame, right? This is the weekly time frame, so you can kind of see where you got going on. Then you pump back up and drove right into the western quadrant and straight up in trying to get into the northern quadrant, but you've been stuck on that overhead resistance and support, and then you came back down, right? So it looks like you got a big W going on here because you're straddling this. Now, as you know, as you work your way out of this quadrant, this is an industry exclusive with our drawing tool. Vincenzo's quadrant up here, right? It's an industry exclusive quadrant, and as you work your way into the quadrant, it's hyper volatile at the far western end. But then as you rotate your way in towards the null phase, which is right here, it gets less volatile, right? And then usually it's not very volatile unless you get deep down into the southern phase or high up into the northern phase, because you pump up and come back down. It gets very less volatile in the null phase, right? And then as you work your way through, it starts to get more volatile. And as you work your way into the eastern quadrants, or the eastern end of the eastern quadrant, it gets hyper volatile. See that? You got a lot of area to work with. It's very volatile out there, as I like to call it, hyper volatile, where you get big moves up and down, right? That's not where we're at right now. We're at the midway point And as we zoom on in here now from the weekly time frame, see how you always start from the far out time frame so you can work your way in a super simple, easy way to trade this market. We want to go to the 3-month time frame. See that? Now as we look at this, you can see we got our, oops, delete. Gotta remember to take that off. Oh, come on, take it all. Oh, we need to go crosshairs. That would be that. No, not that. Fuck's the crosshairs. There we go. So as we work our way through here, you can see in a more local time frame, major supports down here at $1.06, right? And then we got overhead resistance. So what I'd be looking for in the short term is, can you get above these key levels up here, right about where you're at now? If you want to, you need to get some volume. For one, you don't have that much volume, right? There's not a whole lot of volume going on around here. We're gonna go into the hour time frame. There's really not a lot of volume going on. We're just in this range. But I would say in the short time frame, if you want to move up, you're going to have to start getting some kind of volume in here. There's just not a whole lot, and all we can go off of, if you want to use, let's go into the 3-hour time frame. So what you can use this last crash if you want to just try to get some support and resistance out of it, right? You can see you kind of got some major overhead resistance up in here, right? Let's see what kind of makes sense. Now you can kind of scoot that in right up into the bodies of it. That doesn't even, it's not even that good. I don't like that. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of that Matic. Zoom out a little bit more into the 4-hour time frame. So really what you got here is, because it looks like a W topping reversal pattern. So what I would look for is you got a key. We're going to zoom these down a little bit because we don't really need these. We can see that. We're going to fade these off into the background nice and beautifully. Bam. Bam. So we're going to take our industry exclusive horizontal array price predicting tool, or line tool, and you can see you got a neckline down here. Here's your critical neckline. Yeah, it's actually down farther. But for right now, I would say your critical neckline, or your critical underneath support's right about at the end of that. I'm going to get rich zone where we bounced off last time. Right here, you can see it bounce. If you break below this green line, you're going to come down. It's going to come back all the way down here towards the neckline of this W. But what I think maybe could be happening here is, you can see what at the W I'm talking about. You come up and you come down, or the you're not all the way there yet. I feel like you got to come up here and complete that M, right? Topping reversal pattern, then you come back down, and then you come to the neckline, because this is really the neckline down here. See that? See what I'm talking about? So if I had to say a zone that's a critical neckline that if you broke below it would be bearish. What is this on? I got to get used to how to use this, but if I had to say where the critical zone, if you break below it, it's bullish or bearish, it's this neckline down here. We're going to get our little coloring box out. See that? See this zone? This is your critical support zone right there. Right in here. If you break below this, you're in some major trouble. In the old Matic, this is your major neckline, right? This is where the M topping reversal pattern started. This is the first hoof, and this would be the third hit on the neckline when it comes down. If you can see again what I'm talking about, we're gonna get an arrow. Oh, that's not what we want. We want these arrows. You can see we hit and started the neckline right there. See that? Little beautiful arrow. We're gonna make this a different color. Gotta make it something bright. Bam, that's bright. And then we're gonna make this bright. See that? Your knock line came in there the first time. Down, huh? Right there for the first time. I'm gonna clone that. Hit it again for the second time. See that? And then copy that again. Oops, clone it. We want to clone the bitch. And then I think you're going to hit it for a third time down here. That's your critical sell zone. But I think short term in Matic, you're going to try to, and I'm just rambling on here, I'm on my laptop. But I think in short term, you're going to come try to retest this $1.92 of the upper overhead resistance, which that's your major overhead resistance up there, right? This is your major underneath support box. This is your major overhead resistance right up in here. And I think you may try to squeeze your way back up there with the low volume. It just seems to be what I think. But if you're in a position, if you break this green support box in here, up here at the I'm going to get rich zone, this would be your sell zone locally. Because if you break that, I think you're going to come all the way back down to the bottom of this neckline at 63 cents again, like you did here, down, and down, right? So as long as you're in this green box, like you got supported and bounced off there, you're bullish, right? As we zoom on in here, we'll go to the 6 month time frame. It should bring us right into what we want, yeah. Hopefully. So, like I was saying, with our little fancy drawing tool, right now, if you break this green support zone, you sell, because as soon as you cross this line with volume and you can't hold it, you're going to come all the way back into this area like you did back there and back there. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But I think short term, you could try to pop up the upper resistance that's up here at the top of the box. Moving along, I got another coin request for some new coin. It looks like XRP, but it's like XPR right here. XPR from Johnny D. If this is not the coin you were talking about, like always, just let me know in the comment. And I'll try to find the correct one, but from everything I've seen, I believe this is the right coin. So if we look at this coin, it's a very new coin. I like that. He's always bringing these new coins. So we're going to start, and again, we look to be with not a whole lot of data to work with, so I can only try to do some TA with not a lot of data points, meaning price action, because the coin just came out, at least on Coinbase, about a month ago, a little over a month ago. We're in a rising channel, like these all seem to, like TKY, the other one, FTM or whatever it was, they all like to start these channels. So with all the data we have, you're going to play support and resistance, and that's it. So your upper support in an uptrending fashion is up there, and your lower support is down here, Johnny D. And as you can see, here's how you play this right now until you get more data, unless you're just playing it for a huge takeoff for the long haul. If you're just trying to swing trade it, you buy it on support, you sell it at resistance. You buy it at support, you sell it at resistance, and just watch it here, and it comes back down. You buy it at support and try to sell it at resistance. That's how I would play this. Play the support resistance game on this. And since there's not a whole lot of data on here, you can't really get a whole lot of information because there's just not data. You got to have data, and there's no data right now. So there's really not a whole lot you can go off of except play what you have in front of you, because in TA, the more data, the more price action, the more time the coin or the stock's been out there, the more information you have to look at to try to make an educated decision based on what you're seeing in the current price action, right? But seeing as this only has a few weeks, you buy support and resistance until something changes on it because there's just not enough data. unless you're just buying and you hold because you have a good feeling about the coin and don't think it's going to end up somewhere down here for a while. Buy support, sell resistance. That's what I would do on this coin right now, Johnny D. Just like we did on the FTM and the mother coins when they first came out. Play the support and resistance till the price action breaks. What else do we got flipping around out here right now? I thought some coins were moving today. Maybe some things have started to come back down to earth. No, 6%. This coin, yeah, see it's up today. XLM. We haven't looked at XLM in a while. Let's take a look at that. Make sure this is still recording. It is. 15 minutes. It's alright. Long video of me rambling. So if we take a look here at XLM, it's been a minute, so this chart's going to be very dirty and ugly looking. We got lots of writing. This would be a good time for Eraser to come back out. My new subscribers, I noticed we're up to 640 subscribers. If I could ask you again to help me get subscriptions, you've been asking for more Eraser, and I'm going to give you more Eraser. Bang. 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 Right, Eraser just killing it. So get that nonsense. Look at Sniper Eraser today. Finesse Eraser. Eraser's got everything going on for it. He's a finesse, he's a sniper. Congratulations, Eraser. Really appreciate you coming to the show. Wish I knew how to take it off of that after. I know how you do it. Where's my fucking dots at to just... That's what I don't get on here. When I click this stupid shit, how do I get just that back? Oh, get off that. So stupid. But anyways, so you can see we were in this. We were trading within this pattern right here. Wow, they lost. Good job, Oregon. That's how you blow the game. No more national title for you. If you're an Oregon Duck fan on here, your team just choked that game away at the end. I've been sort of half watching it. But you can see we've had upper resistance, lower support as we zoom in a super simple, easy way to trade XLM in this manipulated market, right? You can see we popped out now out of this. And if we adjust these lines, this really would have been more back up in here. We had a big fake out up there, right? We got a lot of nonsense going on. Let's make some of these arrows smaller. Then we're going to click that and go into settings, right? Visual options. Nah, who cares? Let's just make this smaller. Get out of there. We had your overhead resistance, and we popped out through it now, right? See that? Move this down now. We hit this a few times and kept getting rejected. We hit it there. We had a nice fake out over there, right? And now we're pumping up as my laptop, so that's telling me to start winding this down. As we pump up, we've had a nice little local spike in volume, right? We'll move into the monthly time frame. And you can see now we popped beautifully off that, hit overhead resistance at about the 31-cent level, got rejected, came back down to the 50-day moving average, which is very bullish. See that how you have a pump and then a down and sideways brief consolidation? That's a very bullish consolidation. And then you usually, after you hit overhead resistance, you come down a little bit, consolidate, build up some steam in the buyers, and then you charge through, and you did. Now what's likely to happen is you start to trade back down and back test this overhead overhead resistance that after you broke through and come back down, it's underneath support, right? Or the resistance on the coming up side is resistance, but then as you break it and trade back down towards it, it acts as underneath support, and they often like to come back down to these areas in a consolidation and then kick off if you're going to kick off and continue up in the bull run, right? Or they'll come down, trade off it, straddle it, and drop back down into this triangle that you were trading in, and then fulfill the triangle out and then break down. And this was just a big fake out up here, right? But we're going to keep an eye on this because you did get, for the first time in a while, a nice little burst of volume down there. The biggest burst of buy volume since back here in late September, right? So about, I don't know, 15, 20 days ago. But it's still not overall impressive. Still doesn't look anything great to me. So I think you're going to come down and retest. And then you could pop back up, right? And then see what happens on a double top. But we'll keep an eye on that next XLM. I'm going to wrap this up because I've had quite the extensive rambling on here of not very entertaining, kind of boring, but I'm going to release it to you anyways at Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. I thank you once again. Peace and love. Peace and love. Until next time, Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing.